Hello and welcome to Abundance and Performance, aligning devotion with your soul blueprint. I'm so excited to have you here and to introduce some concepts that perhaps you've never heard of before, or maybe you have. And my goal is to weave these into our practice, or to either you already have a practice or you are looking to start one and you're looking to align into to perform better in all aspects of life. It doesn't matter if it's whether it's your work or your relationships or your financial abundance. And I'm tying it in with abundance because it is, it is something that inherent in every aspect of our lives. Um, so I'm going to share my screen and hopefully you can see my presentation here. Okay. And go ahead and start with these slides. Just a second. Uh, Share. Can you? Okay, there it is. There it is. So, okay, abundance and performance. So I actually encourage you to get pen and paper and make notes as we go, and know that you can always rewind and do the tools again, and at your leisure. But it's nice to have an experience now so that you can actually see this in action, these tools in action, and make your own notes. But so I'm going to start with just inviting us to a new way of thinking of both abundance and performance, not as something that we're chasing or forcing, but as expressions of who we truly are when we're aligned to our heart. So when we think about performance, a lot of people go to thinking it's pressure, I'm needing to pursue through hustle. But what our deepest devotion is, what if we could consider that we already can do what we already do in terms of what we like to achieve, but from a completely different energy, one that it flows, things flow in a way. And even though we can be very excited about it and very animated, and perhaps even feel a bit of stress, um, there is a distinction in the quality of the feelings. So really it isn't about doing more, it's about doing what's most aligned. And when we perform from the truth of who we truly are, abundance isn't a reward, it's actually a natural outcome. And I really love emphasizing on this because it really creates this shift where, oh, all of a sudden, I don't know about you, but like I just feel like, oh, at ease, like thinking that I don't have to compromise my health, my relationships, my the quality of my life, because I want to achieve all these things in different aspects of life. So you probably are thinking, well, what is this soul blueprint? You may or may have not heard this before. I heard it for the first time actually in 2016 with my coach, Sheva Kar, my HeartMath mentor, who was with me for 4 years. And honestly, back then, that was a really far reach of a concept for me. Now I understand it so beautifully, so clearly, but it is an evolution. So I want to start planting that seed. But basically what it is our unique design of who we truly are, beneath the conditioning, beneath the stress, beneath the roles that we've learned to play. And it's an inner map to our purpose, to our peace, and to our authentic abundance. And I want to emphasize authentic abundance. In past presentations in the series, I talked about what is our definition of abundance. And sometimes we naturally tend to go to thinking about tons of money or lots of resources. But if we're not able to truly enjoy them, and actually maybe have a lot but don't have the health or don't have the relationships, then what is truly abundance? And I'll just plug in one of my favorite definitions of abundance. And as always, everything that I say, take it or leave it. But to me, abundance is the ability to do what we need to do when we need to do it, with whomever we need to do it, and as many times as we need to do it. But it is that ability. So there's this freedom in there, and there's also this balance and this joy that comes with it. And at the end of the day, if we thinking about why we do what we do, is because of the feeling that we'll get. So, all right. So moving along. Okay, so this is one of my favorite graphs. I say that about all, like a lot of the graphs from HeartMath. But we do this helps illustrate, okay, that we might live in a world that's conditioned to think to glorify the hustle, and where stress is often seen as this badge of honor. But the truth is that stress depletes our system, even when it's high performance stress. So a little pressure might get us moving, and that's great, but it's not sustainable. So that's where we've got to be just mindful and careful about when we disconnect from that very energy that creates abundance. Then we burn out, we're depleted, we lose that balance. But when we can find a way to notice when we're coming out of alignment, and make those shifts inside, where we're going about it in a way that is wholesome, that where everything is taken care of, where we're not compromising things. So this graph shows, it's the depletion to renewal grid. And on the left side, we've got the depleting emotions. You've probably seen me bring it up over and over again, and I will always do this because it shows things oh so clearly about what is happening inside, like our internal uh, state, and physiologically, psychophysiologically, what is happening in our system. So on the left side of the grid, we've got, and so it's divided in four. The upper quadrant shows high heart rate. Our sympathetic nervous system is activated. And so when we have anger, frustration, anxiety, high heart rate, but left side, depleting emotions. Lower side, burnout, withdrawal, resentment. It's lower heart rate. Our parasympathetic nervous system is the one that is activated, but we're still depleting energy, and our body is producing hormones that deplete us. Cortisol being the main one. On the right side of the grid, we've got excitement, courage, passion. So it's the same, sympathetic, parasympathetic, except the quality is extremely different. High heart rate when we're excited, when we're courageous, when we have passion. And lower heart rate when we're fulfilled, we're at ease, we have contentment, and we're producing hormones that regenerate us. DHEA being one of the main hormones, known also as the vitality hormone. So when we think about performance, on the left side of the grid, there's this pressure and to go on overdrive, and we tend to start comparing ourselves, and we go into burnout. And so that will obviously put us in the left side of the grid. And but when we are performing from a place of alignment, we've got renewing emotions like devotion. We've got clarity. We've put our heart into things. We have flow, and this is what I like to call performance with soul, where we're not compromising our health, and also we're smart about it, because we know that when we're in depleting emotions, and we go into survival mode, and from that place, where our vision becomes very, very short. It's we're just trying to go through motions, which so many people are accustomed to, that's the only way their system knows to operate on this overdrive constant. And of course, you will achieve so much from this. I mean, inevitably, if you're working hard and putting in the time, the effort, and all the things, yes, you might accumulate a lot of things and lots of abundance of money, for example, or things. But is it truly sustainable? Where is it coming from? And will it give you uh, balance in life, in every other aspect of life? So here's where, in a moment, I'm going to show us how to. Yes, it is not about compromising what we would like to achieve, but again, it's from a different energy and from a different intelligence, and that is where this work comes in, and it's so beautiful because um, I'll show you in a moment, and we'll go straight into applying this into your life. So, okay, so this is my second chart that I really, really like this one. And this is the stress, resilience, and performance graph. So again, that's why I say you can always rewind and pause and make notes, because there's a lot of information here. And I, this graph is such an eye opener, because we've got the blue line and the red line, and the bottom, you can see there the time and days, and it has the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. That's the amount of days, and this was taken from research, and it shows how performance over time is affected depending on the quality of the energy that's put into the work. So uh, the red line shows somebody, and this was a study, when we're performing just by hustle and bustle and go, 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 our human body, no human body can operate under stress for so long. There's inevitably going to be a point of breakdown. And you see that in the red line. First you start off like embracing the challenge, improving the performance. That's the first period. The second period is that period of maximum efficiency. You see that in day like 10 till about day 35. And then we go into the hyperreactive stage, where things, you're getting tired, you're getting burned out, like we're starting to go in overdrive. And then the next stage is the emotional exhaustion stage. And how many of us have heard so many people that just burn out? Lots of people. I mean, it could be in your corporate job, it could be even as a mother, it could be in any actually field. It's like anybody that is going without a way. So the blue line is showing someone that has tools, and someone that has this not know-how of how to self-regulate. And so you'll see the blue line, that it is possible to go longer, but this is showing someone with the knowledge and the awareness and the of how to self-regulate. And you see there is no breakdown point. And so this, again, you can pause here and make notes, and perhaps actually here in this next one, we could go back and forth between these graphs. But this shows the stress and well-being scores, and this is part of what the stress and well-being assessment um, is one tool that I utilize whenever we're starting off with a coaching program, and it's something also that is available to you if you'd like to. But it shows the 8 aspects of stress, the main stressors that people have in their lives: physical, work, relationship, financial. There's our social support, our emotional stress, and our stress response. And this is actually from a client of mine. Of course, I'm not going to say who this person is, but it shows. I want to really make it uh, like relatable as possible. This is a snapshot of what your inner state could look like in a moment in your life. And we all go through different stages of life, so this will change. And what makes me excited when I work with people is that these scores are always going to vary, but my excitement is when we can get our well-being scores to be so strong in the green part, because there are tools, there are ways. It's here is from going, the inevitable, foreseeable future of the burnout, in high stress in all these aspects of life, to well, how do you manage those? How do you lessen that curve? How do you get to that blue line where you can be performing at your best, without that burnout? And so this is a snapshot in the moment, but just think about perhaps in your life, but just kind of to wrap up that thought, this is at the beginning stage of my client. I don't actually have the after. Actually, we're still working together, but the outcome will be where, or the goal, at least the intention, is that these aspects of life, in this case the emotional stress and the stress response, lessens. I mean, especially the stress response, because inevitably, when you have tools, when you have know-how, when you have this awareness, and you're actually taking actions in your day-to-day life to manage your stress. One thing is to notice it, but other is to actually know how, have tools, take actions that are going to lessen the stress. Then your well-being scores will be higher. The way you manage stress will be high. Your adaptability, your resilience capacity is like that ability to there's a setback. Oh, but you're resilient enough because you know how to bounce back from emotional setbacks. And then the vitality, that one is one of my favorites, is because the emotional vitality, when we have that strong, well, when we have all these well-being scores strong, we know that it doesn't matter what life throws at us or what comes our way, and it's part of life to ebb and flow. It's natural to have some stressors in some aspects of our lives at some point. But when we have the tools, when we've created a lifestyle, when we have the awareness, when we know how to bounce back, then our well-being scores are going to be beautiful, healthy, strong. So think about perhaps an aspect of your life where there is high stress, and we'll do an exercise now where we can create that small shift. And this is one tool that is a beautiful HeartMath tool. And if you don't know about HeartMath, and I've been, a certified coach since 2016. These are simple yet extremely powerful protocols that allow us to shift our internal state, going from that stress response, going from pushing and grinding and hustling, to come into a different intelligence. That's what I was saying about a different intelligence. And a lot of people have not had this awareness, or perhaps we're just so accustomed to the old way of doing things that we forget that there's a higher intelligence always with us, always. And that's in here in the center of our chest. So from the center of our chest, it's our GPS, it's our compass. That's where we're getting at. This is the work. This is one of the most beautiful, brilliant, masterful uh, organs in the. It's the most. The heart produces the strongest electromagnetic field in the body when it's in alignment with our heart, our brain. When we're in the state of coherence, we're able to access so much more than the brain alone. And so that in a moment you'll see how the stress and being disconnected can have us tend to go into thinking our way, pushing our way, strategizing our way just with our brain alone. From the stress response, in the stress state, we are only performing at a very small capacity, and our performance really is compromised because we're not utilizing our full intelligence. And so so take a moment now to jot down something that you would like a little bit more clarity on. What perhaps area of your life? It doesn't have to be the hardest thing, but something where you would like some clarity, somewhere where you can like where you would like to lessen a bit of that stress, and see this tool in action. So all you need to do is just, yeah, write it down, and also leave space. It'd be great if it was a white blank, maybe just a page, um, and divide it in two. Just kind of do the upper part and then lower part, and maybe up here you write what it is that you'd like to have that clarity, that lessen the stress in the aspect of your life. And then, okay, so we're going to go now to do the mind map and the heart map tool. So in the mind map, you've probably seen mind maps where you kind of jot down, in the middle there, the cloud there, the brain, the cloud, uh, write down that thing that you'd like that clarity on. And in the spokes, jot down all the things that kind of come along with that stressor. Oh, I don't have enough time. My resources are running out. Um, I've been trying to hard and not seeing results. This is, what am I doing wrong? There's probably something wrong with me. There's something, this health condition is getting worse. All the things that come to, that you are maybe running in the background as like you haven't actually put conscious thought, or like made them conscious, but jot them down, dump them all into that page, into this part, so in the upper side. And you can't get this wrong, but, so don't worry about it. As always, you can rewind and go back and forth in doing it again and again. So write all those things down, and then it's interesting to see actually when we write them down, you know, what that brings up for us, what other emotions show up. But it's in the paper, it's on the paper, it's there. All right. For the sake of time, we're going to continue on. So if you need more time, you can pause this later on and just keep on writing all the things. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to play a little tune, and we're just going to do it for about a minute. And then we're going to go to that bottom section of your page. And so I'm going to play this tune. And get us into coherence. That is what we're doing, is we get into the coherent state. And this is, again, a tool that you can utilize with anything that you have a challenge with. But the key part here is getting into the coherent state. So I'll guide us through. Okay. And what you do is just find that comfortable seated position. You can close your eyes just to allow for all the focus, all your attention to be centered in the area around your heart. Imagine the breath flowing in and out through your heart or chest area. Counting to about 5 seconds on the inhale, 5 seconds on the exhale. Finding that comfortable rhythm just for you. And as we inhale and exhale through our heart, make a sincere attempt now to activate the frequency of gratitude. It could be for someone or something in your life that you're so grateful for. It could be your pet. It could be a beautiful sunset. It could be the sound of the ocean crashing into the sand. And now from this place, ask your heart, what would be an attitude, a perspective, even an action that you hadn't considered before with this stressor in your life? And take a moment now to open your eyes and, without questioning, jot down in the bottom of your page, draw a little heart, and from it spokes, just like in the graph. And as much as possible, try to remain in this state. And just write down anything that comes to you. Notice that it's the same issue, but your state has shifted. Again, for the sake of time, I'm just going to continue on. And you can always rewind and pause. If you didn't get anything, don't worry. Or if you're like still confused, just try it again. Do it again as often as you possibly can. Because what this shows, and again, these are all tools that are measured, they're scientifically proven, that when we're coming to our issues or the things that are stressing us from a different intelligence, from the intelligence of the heart, having the heart inform the brain, we have a completely different perspective. We access more. We have access to more solutions because all our brain is operating optimally when we've created that shift. Things will occur to us that we hadn't thought about before because we have access to it. We will also get an idea all of a sudden, perhaps. It could be the slightest shift into just feeling that relief that actually, things are not why, I can go about it in a different way. Oh, I could do it this way. Or how about I talk to this person? How about I send this email without, or how about I make this call? How about, and anything that comes to you, don't question it. That is your intuitive guidance. And like we've seen in the past presentation on intuition and coherence and abundance. Intuition is a high intelligence that is guiding us, and when we don't question it, when we follow it, even when we don't know the outcome, we're open up to magic. We're stepping into the unknown. We're trusting something higher, a higher intelligence, and that is heart-based living. So it could be scary, but try it out. Perhaps try it out with something that is not as big, and just develop that inner trust. And back to our blueprint, to this concept of our blueprint, is there is a higher intelligence. There is a unique design for who you truly are beneath the conditioning, the stressors, the roles that you've learned to play. I said this at the beginning, but here it is again. This is your inner map to your purpose, to your peace, to your authentic abundance. So, okay, so with that, I think, and let me see. Yeah, okay, so this last slide to close it off, and for those of you who are here live, we can go into Q&A. And for those watching the recording, come and join the Coherence Meditation Gym, joining our challenges. We are right now in the middle of our 21 Abundance Challenge, and just look up when the next one is. But so, ponder this thought again as we think about abundance and performance, and aligning our devotion with our soul blueprint. And what I mean about devotion is that daily practice, that daily commitment to yourself to come into, hopefully you have a meditation practice. It is one of the most beautiful ways to connect back into this inner guidance, to this wise part of ourselves that knows the roadmap, that knows the way, that holds our true blueprint and will guide us, doesn't want us to stay in stress, doesn't want us to have all these aspects of life where there's stressors. It holds the key. It knows how to guide us around, and the trust in it and the developing on it on a daily basis, on the lifestyle, on the way you live your life, is that that devotion, and how you live your life, how you integrate your practice and your your connection with this higher intelligence within you. So that is actually Performance with Soul is a program that I have separate from this. It's a whole program. It will be available on recording as a standalone course, or it's also part of the mastermind, which is a year-long program that you'll be hearing me talk about more. But so that in that course, there's 6 aspects of all this that we go into. Okay, how can I lessen these stressors in my life? Can I create a container for myself? How can I track my progress? How can I learn more about my blueprint? So all this is in Performance with Soul. And so I'll just end with what is it, exploring more of that part that you jotted down at the beginning. Stick with it. Your heart will guide you, and getting into the coherent state is the best way possible for you to find guidance. It is not going to come through trying to hustle through, because we won't have that wise part of us, access to that wise part of us guiding us. So in whatever ways speak to you, find a way to get into coherence, find a way to get into the right side of the grid as quickly, as oftenly as possible. And don't wait for things for you to go into burnout. But if you're there, it's okay. Help is on the way, and there's all these tools available so that you can, find your way back. Find that light that's always shining, that's always opening up the path for you. And all you need to do is see that one next step and take it with faith, with devotion, with your inner guidance. Okay, so I'm going to close the presentation with that. It was almost 40 minutes. Goodness. For those of you staying, I'm so excited to get to talk to you. And for those of you watching the recording, remember to always come back to your heart. And I love you. And thank you for watching this presentation. Much, much love. Let me pause the recording.